Welcome back to Someone You Need to Know. I'm your host, Rashanah Baldwin. Today's guest is a definition of global vision and purpose, Makeda Smith. She's a real estate strategist, international speaker, and the CEO of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, which she grew from a small room of 60 women in a multi-million-dollar global brand that impacted thousands around the world. She's closed deals in the US, Ghana, Nigeria, Dubai, and beyond, and has hosted sold out retreats across the country, in Africa, and the diaspora around the world, teaching people how to build wealth, live boldly through real estate. Makeda works blend faith, prophetic vision, and business savvy, promoting that legacy has no borders. Let's dive into her journey, her wisdom, and her vision for what's next.
When we went to Zanzibar, we actually had a husband and wife team, John and Nakia Homes. They have built over 300 properties through construction. They have multiple investment properties, but they had never been to Africa. And so, because of my invitation for them to speak at our seventh annual Licensed and Buyer conference in Zanzibar, they was like, Makeda, you don't know what this has done for us. Like, so you asked about like empowering Black investors and Black people. They were like, now we want to bring our whole entire family over here. And they have 7 kids. So they're going back with us in December, but they want to see how to compare the Zanzibar nation of Africa to West Africa to see like where they want to build and start investing. So they're very, very excited about going back in December. And so that's what we're doing. So it's not just people who are small entrepreneurs, but we have some major players that I had never been to Africa. And because of us saying yes, them saying yes to our invitation, now they're like, I'm bringing my whole family. And so I did a search this morning on ChatGPT and I said, give me these stats for Africa. And one of the things that it said is that the rise of the middle class in Africa because the diaspora is coming back. So can you imagine? I'm getting chills now. Thank you, Lord. So can you imagine taking somebody over to Africa like a John and Nakia Holmes? And I had 30 people that was in Zanzibar with me. They was like, I said, how many are here in Africa for the first time? The hands went up. A majority of people was in Africa for the first time. And I just stood in the room, was like, oh my God. Like, oh my, this is not a small deal. This is a huge deal because now, because of they have been exposed, they want to expose other people. And so that I can see how the stat that ChatGPT gave me is that because the diaspora is coming back, it's going to increase the middle class. It's going to help bring more capital and resources to Africa that they know how to use the minerals, how to do the gold, how to utilize all the natural things that God has already given the continent. Now we know how to like use the capital. So yeah.
Has your faith ever, guided you into a major business decision that didn't make sense on paper but paid off later?
Um, I would say yes. I'm trying to think something off the top of my head, but what did not make sense on paper for me was the overextending of myself, not charging enough, and then ending up in the red in a lot of these events and retreats and stuff that I host. So it didn't make sense on paper, but the people that fill up my inboxes, that send me text messages, and I'm not gonna cry, that send me text messages to say that because of you, like I have this experience, because of you, I have like greater clarity. God answered my prayers. I'm going back. I'm taking my family back. I need my mother to see this. It's like, it's very, very fulfilling. The fact that I have helped over 24 now international investors to invest in land in Nigeria, which I think maybe about 12 people. We have 3 people who have become, no, 5 people who have become investors in the Dominican Republic. And I have like 10 to 11 people who have invested in Ghana. If I never had said yes, even though it didn't make sense on paper, I want to have this fulfillment now. And so, like, even this month of July, I'm looking to have my biggest month in international real estate because now people are even more interested in investing, in Africa. So, yeah, I'm excited.
How do you merge your prophetic vision into practical real estate strategy?
Just being myself. Just being myself. I didn't even know that I was prophetic until people just started saying, "Oh, you're a
You
prophet."
didn't know that
I'm
you
like,
were.
I'm not. Listen, who wants
I
to claim
know
that?
you lying. You ain't know you was prophetic as much as
Who
Jewish you
wa-
be
who
drunk.
who wants to claim that? Okay, who wants to put that title on themselves? So, I am an ordained evangelist, so I am
I'm about
in.
to say, I know you are. Is
You
this
know, I'm
recent? This is recent. This is new?
no, no, no. I've been ordained since like the age of 20.
And you didn't know you was, you know what? Write that down and say you ain't know you was prophetic. Okay.
Prophetic, because prophetic is like speaking life into people and like telling people, like bringing them out of sometimes a dead situation into a overflowing situation to let them know like the God has remembered you, that he is still going to like bring his words and prophecy to pass. So sometimes, that can be weighty, so I don't always use that word, even though I am prophetic. And how it plays into like international real estate is that I don't know, I think I was telling my therapist. I was telling her from the time that I was a little girl, I didn't know that before I was placed in my mother's womb, like I know today, that I was purposed for a global assignment, that I was purposed to become a world leader, that I was purposed that somebody called me yesterday and was like, you my Harriet. Like,
Oh
what?
my God, Harriet
So
Tubman.
like those are, it's heavy words. So I never wanted to accept them. So when people like you, like the Moses of real estate, you're the Joshua of real estate. And so it's not things that I have put on myself, but as I have lived out this movement and have just been myself, people have put these words on me based on what they see. So it's kind of like how I read like people getting like a Nobel Peace Prize, and you can't just say, "Oh, I deserve one." It's based on how people see you and what they see you're doing and the words that they put on you. Because you can say, "Oh, I'm a superstar, I'm this, I'm that," but how do people perceive you? And so people perceive me as being prophetic. They perceive me as being a modern day Moses or Harriet Tubman. And I think about Harriet Tubman saying that she would have freed more people had they known that they were slaves. And I was like, oh, if people would have know now that, hey, y'all, you can't have all your risks in one country, then I would be able to free even more people across different continents. But people only want to concentrate here. And I had somebody tell me that their assignment was here. And I was like, I respect that. I respect the fact that you said that God has your assignment here in your home area. I get that. But my assignment here is also in Chicago. It's also in Illinois. It's also in this nation. The reason why people are gathering. And we have an event coming up the end of this month. Girl, do you know the people who purchase tickets are people who are not even from Chicago? And
Is it in
so,
Chicago?
huh?
It's in Chicago?
Yeah, the event is in Chicago, but the people who purchase tickets are not even in Chicago. So it's like I have an assignment here at home, but I also have an assignment abroad. And that's why it's a global, like it's a world assignment.
That's such a powerful perspective. And that leads me to my next question about, Americans investing. What is the biggest misconception that many Americans have about buying or investing abroad?
I think the biggest misconception that they have is that it's hard. That because somebody asked me, she said, when you started in international real estate, were you scared? And I was like, no, I wasn't scared. I was like, let's go, let's do this. But then I got my little tail whooped and came back home, was like, oh my God, I didn't know it's gonna be so hard. So I got my little tail whooped, but I went back out there. I said, okay, let me do this again. Let me do this again. Let me do this again. And so I just kept learning from my mistakes. So it was never about being scared. it was about learning how to navigate and finding my strength and finding my own voice in this, because I was strong going in, but then I came out weak as a kitten. I don't, whatever you describe as being weak, that's how I was. But now I am getting my spiritual muscles, mental muscles up, because I had to become a different version of myself in order to be able to operate at this level. And so I had to be kindly keen to the spiritual senses in other countries outside of my home country. You had a question.
Yeah, what are you how are you taking that spiritual guidance power into these negotiation settings? Because you could be as prayed up, like you said, which you are an evangelist, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Is like you how do you match and balance both? Because you still have to be that shark. And as
Yeah.
Jess is like, we mean business. We may be American, but you're not going to take advantage of us. How are you
No,
finding those
no.
two?
So that's one of the things that I had to navigate, and the reason why I've become a different version of myself, because I have had people to come that are raving wolves in the inside, but they appear to be like sheep. They send their representatives without me knowing exactly who they are. And so for me, how I've been able to navigate is that the Lord has just been showing and He has been exposing. And so I can't take it lightly that, okay, this person was here today, now they're gone to tomorrow. What's the lesson in that? And so the lesson in for that for me is to be, like you said, more of like having that shark mentality, that when I go in, okay, this is business. Like, it's, you can be humble as a dove, but you can also, as the scripture says, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. The scripture says, be wise as a serpent. So now I'm learning how to be wise as a serpent at the negotiation table, so that I'm not just going in just showing my hand first. And so there are things that He is showing me, to where, in certain places, people will respect who you are, but then there are other people that want what you have. And so I have to be able to discern, like, okay, are you coming in because you want what I have? You want to be able to assist, to help because God sent you? Or are you coming to glean or to try to, to get something for themselves? So it's going to the table, being that sharp, but being as humble as a dove, but also as wise as a serpent. So I have learned. And because I have been bamboozled, I have been taken advantage of, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars when I feel like it could have been less if I would have went in as a sharper negotiator. And so now I am. Now I also let people know that when they come to me and we have a consultation, I'm letting them know, hey, this is what you need to look out for, because this is what I've been through. And this is the reason why I also speak with that, you need to book a consultation, because I spent millions to be here where I am today. I didn't spend, 100K or 10,000. I spent millions to be in the seat that I'm sitting in today.
I want to go deeper into that a little bit because what you just talked about, in navigating the legal and cultural nuances of international real estate. You say you
Uh-huh.
spent millions, you've been bamboozled. Um, how I guess how the questions come up of how and navigating that, right? Do you have more legal experts on your side helping you? Are you constantly in contact? For those who don't know, right? And I say constant in contact, like nurturing those relationships. The people you got over there is like, how do you keep navigating it so you don't get bamboozled again, so you don't lose millions going forward? For people who are listening and who will be watching and new to the investment and maybe hesitant, like, well, I don't want to lose millions of dollars. I guess that's the question of like, how
So
is
I have lawyers as friends. And one, when I came back from Punta Cana, one lawyer was like, Makeda, you could have had me read this contract, right? And I was like, oh. Right. So she was like, next time you need me to like read over contract, like, pull on your resources. She was like, you have done a lot for, people within your community. And so my community is a wide range of accountants. I have all types of professionals. And like she said, you got lawyers in your community. If you need a contract, to be read over, I will do it for you. You don't have to pay me or anything like that. And so I was like, thank you for that. So it's basically I have people within my network that I can lean on. I also have people that are attorneys in other countries that I'm now leaning on because I've been able to build relationships with people in those countries that have the legal expertise. The reason why I need lawyers in those countries versus the lawyers here in this country, and I still need ones in this country, is because they know the rules and the laws of that country. That's where they practice, they have the license, and so they know their people, they know the court system and all of that. When you look at Ghana, Ghana has court cases that over 80% of their court cases statistically is for all land disputes. And so if I know that going in, then I'm making sure that when it comes to land, I'm doing my due diligence. But I don't even sell land in Ghana. I give that over to an expert that's in our group that actually is an agent partner of the Promised Land Society, and she lives there in Ghana. She's also an EXP real estate agent, but she knows land. And so I send everybody to her. We'll work out a referral fee. Let me send everybody to you because I'm not on the ground to do that type of betting. So I make sure that I stay out of what I don't know and that I learn even more about the things that I am in, which is new construction development, in which I'm selling in these countries. Um, Also, it is taking your time with the relationship. So, how to avoid. So, now that I learned what not to do in places like the Dominican Republic, Dubai, um, Ghana, now I going into Zanzibar was easy for me because I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I bet the travel company that I'm working with, compare their prices to somebody else's prices so I can see. And it's not all about just the best price. Remember that it's all about what are you getting for the actual price that makes sense for your budget. Because if my people can get more and I have to pay more, then if that's something that I need to do, I will do it. Just like when we go to South Africa, I'm getting less profit, but what they're getting in return, because I don't know South Africa. I ain't never been to South Africa, but I want to go. So we're going to 3 cities in 7 days. But now I hired a local travel tour guide on the ground because they know that country. I'm going to be going for the first time. But when I go for the first time, my eyes and ears are open. The team is going to be with me, and we're going to be taking notes, building relationships with people that are already on the ground so that when I do go back to South Africa, I have less dependence upon, certain businesses and organizations, and I can tap directly into the people without going third party. I hope that answers.
It does.
Okay.
What advice do you have? I have about one more question, one and a half question. What's the advice would you give a first time investor who's somewhat intimidated by buying overseas, don't know if they have enough money, not really sure if it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars? What advice would you give, a first time investor who's looking to
Yeah.
jump?
It's
What?
just basically I tell them you have to educate yourself. Like next week, yeah, next is it next week? No, the week after, I think. I have a investment 5-day investment challenge. So it's for anybody who is new to like real estate investing globally and you want to learn. So every day we're gonna tackle a different topic and we're gonna learn together. I would tell anyone who's looking to invest internationally, may be intimidated by it, may be scared, fearful, is to get educated, because the more educated you become, the less fearful you're gonna be, because right? You're gonna go in with confidence. And so just get educated, from the YouTube videos to social media posting to tapping into organizations like Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, who is always educating and coming on the ground with us. There's nothing like being on the ground of these countries and getting the information for yourself. I have people who have went to Ghana with me in 2023, and they have since been back to Ghana maybe 3 or 4 times because they built the first relationship when they went to the country with us because they came with the group. But now they're going back on their own, and some of them are taking groups with them, but that foundation started when they first came with us. So get on the ground, get educated, whether it's from your kitchen table or if it's from hopping on a plane and going and diving in.
For those who don't know, if you could give a rough, like when we talking about investments, because I've seen the dollar signs of what it really costs, and I was like, that's it to buy a property in Punta Cana? Could you
Mhm.
tell the listeners, like, it's really not that much? You can buy a 2 unit for X amount. And when I saw the prices, oh, for $3,000, you put down $3,000, you get eventually, you get a home. It's like,
Yeah.
well, America's damn near,
30.
yeah, more.
Yeah. And if you refinance, you can practically be starting over. So every country is different. I would say for the most part, let me explain it to you like this. Most countries, you're on a cash payment plan, especially as a foreigner. Things are changing to where you can now start to get financing for it. Your interest rate is going to be higher because it is, an investment. It is a risk for the banks. The properties are not built, so you are going to pay a premium on the interest rate. And then sometimes they will require you to put down 30 to 50% of the mortgage, but at least you get to keep more of your money. Most countries that are on a cash payment plan, which most of them are, you put down 2,000 to like $5,000 to reserve your unit. The developer pulls it off of the market, take it off of inventory. That is now in your name. They send you a reservation form, let you know what your payments would be, what that looks like from your reservation to your initial deposit, and then what your monthly or quarterly payments would be because you get to choose. And then from there, you're just on a payment plan. And most times, those payment plans are up to 2 years. So you'll own your property in 2 years versus being on a 30-year mortgage. So it's really designed to keep you out of debt. And while we are always throwing our fingers at like other countries, and even though their GDP may be lower or their currency may be lower value than our dollar, they are debt free. Come on, somebody. Like they are debt
Yeah.
free. Whereas in America, it's like get this credit card with this interest rate, get this mortgage. This is how long you're gonna be locked in. And it's repeated cycle over and over and over again. And even when you pay off your property, you still get property tax. Imagine going to a place like Dubai, paying your for your property and not having property tax. Like that's it. And you get a freehold, like, ooh, you know what? I need to do an ad on that. And you get a freehold. So the average cost can be anywhere in Ghana. We're selling $45,000 studio units. Now in Dominican Republic, you can't get that no more in Punta Cana. Like when I first came in 3 years ago, you were able to get like a $60,000 studio unit. Those studio units are in the low 100,000s now. You can't get that anymore. So if you are interested in getting in an emerging market, get in now. Zanzibar, we have some studio units that are in the low 100s. What they are projecting for Zanzibar is that one day you're going to wake up and Zanzibar is going to be your next Maldives. And so you want to get in on Zanzibar now because even though I don't know if y'all saw the video about the girl saying how Zanzibar catfished her, but when you go to Zanzibar, because she was like, I thought it was all this luxury and beautiful. Yes, it is on the resort, but when you get outside, you're going to get real conditions of the living people that are local. And but what you should be looking at is that it's opportunity. There's opportunities to build shopping malls. There's opportunities to create experience, not only for the locals to give them jobs, but also for the tourists that's coming in, that's booking these Airbnbs and just staying at these hotels. Some of them want to get out, give them some place to go. So, okay, that's my little soapbox.
How are you building your legacy without burning out?
Ooh, I'm in therapy now. Like I'm gonna keep it all 100. I'm in therapy now because I have been burnt out. I have been burnt out, 110% burnt out. And so now how I'm building my legacy is that I'm taking things off of my shoulders because I put what the assignment that God gave me, this royal assignment on my shoulders, and like, let me figure this out. Let me do this. Let me find out how I'm going to get the money. And it's like, no, this is God's assignment. God is going to fund this. You take your hands off of it, Makeda. You still have to do the work, right? I still have to do the work. It's a lot of work. But in terms of having it all figured out, no, no. So I can get burnt out. It's also learning how to delegate, but to delegate to the right people. So now I have a team of VAs that are in the Philippines that are helping me to do like all of the admin work. And I'm slowly rebuilding back my team. But it's people who that I can trust, people who can take the load off because they know exactly what it is that they're doing, and that they're passionate about what we're building here. Because it's not, what I'm doing is not ordinary. It's not to be compared with anything that anybody else is doing, because what God gave me is pretty unique, mixing kingdom, real estate, mm, real estate and legacy. Um, but it's like a kingdom blueprint. It's like me paving the way. It's like a modern day Joseph, and how Joseph went ahead to Egypt, and how I had to go ahead to these different countries, because there's something, like, we think that, oh, we clutching our pearls about, what's happening here right now, but we don't know what else is coming, so we want to make sure that we are prepared for that. And that's why I'm outside. But to prevent burnout is taking it off of my shoulders, relinquishing control, allowing other people to assist me, but the right people to assist me, and even getting help on the ground. So, case in point, my developer, I reached out to him. I'm like, Ghana is going to have pretty soon a licensing law to where you have to be licensed to sell real estate. I need to get licensed. How do I get my business incorporated over there? I need to do this now so that I can be prepared when this comes. And so he was like, you know what? You can use my address. We'll help you, because you have to have a citizen of that country to be on your business in order to be able to get it incorporated without going through the $500,000 investment that is required for a regular foreigner. So that's how I am leveraging these relationships on the ground and preventing burnout.
Awesome. What's next for Makeda Smith? What are there, new countries, new markets, new ideas we should be watching? I'm seeing you on these international speaking stages. You just glossed right over that. I see you out here being an international motivational speaker.
That part I love. I love.
Too.
So
Take
if
me with you because I'm going to claim it that I'm going to be your publicist.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's go, girl. So I have I have been enjoying speaking on different stages internationally. It has led me to recently be booked to speak in London and two stops in Australia. So I'm excited about that, because I never been to Australia, never stayed longer than a layover in London. So I'm excited to be able to get out and then just, continue to open up new audience, new territories. I see myself again as being a world leader in multiple countries. I see me visiting the UN. I see me sitting at tables making political decisions. Not saying that I ever wanted to be a part of that, but God keeps showing me this vision. And I see myself sitting at the table helping to make decisions in countries, especially as someone who has been bringing people from the diaspora over to foreign nations and aspects. And so that's what's next for me. Sitting at these tables, decision making tables, for real, like in politics.
Can you say that some in America? Can you help with the real estate issue here in America? No.
I'm gonna go back to what that person said, that they was called to the US. So I feel like if God calls me to, that issue to deal with things in the US, you know what, Rashanah, I think what I'm hearing, if you got something for me, because you are always inviting me out to different things. If you have something that I should be a part of, let me know. And like I'm open to it as long as God says yes. Because I don't want to deviate from my global assignment. But if he says yes, then I'm open.
How do my listeners, followers, watchers get in contact with you, be a part of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, learn from you? Where can we find you?
So savvychicksandrealestate.com. But if you want to follow me, the woman behind that brand, you can follow me, Makeda Smith Global, everywhere: LinkedIn, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, everywhere. Makeda Smith Global. You can Google. You'll find us on different articles, YouTube, all of the things.
And then Savvy Chicks, what is their website?
Savvychicksandrealestate.com.
You have affordable memberships.
Yes, I have affordable membership. So for anybody who wants to sell international real estate, whether you are a broker, an agent, an affiliate who is not licensed, you are welcome to join us. We host different real estate retreats, as Rashanah talked about. I have 3 different ones. I'm like, okay, I need to do a marketing on that. So the tours, the retreats, and then we have once a year, we have License and Unbothered Conference. We also, Rashanah, formed a investment club called the Global Kingdom Financier Investment Club for anyone who's looking to do like group investing. That is something that we are looking at as well. So it's just like God is opening up a whole conglomerate under Savvy Chicks and Real Estate, that we have these different arms of our government that we are launching and that you can be a part of.
Is your family proud of you? Your mom, your
Very,
husband, your kids,
very.
your sister.
Yep, very, very proud of me. You trying to? I'm not. I haven't dropped a tear. I'm so happy I haven't dropped
No.
a tear.
Okay,
But
don't.
they are very, very proud of me, and often let me know personally that they are very proud. And yeah, they are.
Thank you, Makeda Smith. Will you come back?
Sure, I will. This was fun. I know you was like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, but I think we've been over an hour.
Yep, it's going to be a part 2, 1 and 2. Thank you so much for tuning in to Someone You Need to Know. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the podcast on all major platforms and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rashanah B, for more inspiring stories. Until next time, keep shining, keep building, and keep making the world a better place, one story at a time.